Allow me to worship Chukwukika Biama on behalf of the entire family listening right across the length and breadth of this very planet. All of you who are ordained, all of you who are destined to perform wonders, I welcome all of you. Now, I will present you to Chukwukika Biama in heaven. Therefore, our Father who resideth in heavens above, looking down upon the pain and the suffering of your children, as was foretold by those who has gone before us, that a day will come when the world will gang up, when all the children of darkness will congregate to prevail against your children. That time is now. We are in pain. We are in so much suffering that man cannot begin to comprehend it. We ask for your mercy. We ask for you to come and present and provide a way where there is none. We ask you, Chukwukika Biama, we keme amarani mendo muginine the IPOB. Ne beni ne bichiche, we beni ne owasotur. Kipe magi ne belagi bit obaso ha, uposi ne kendo ha. Okwasu sweli igwe. We call upon you this evening. The vultures are congregating, the saboteurs are rising up. We are beginning to identify them, and we are dealing with them. We ask you to give us the strength. We ask you for courage. We ask you for every ounce of determination and resoluteness. Make us as hard as steel, as only you can do. Baptize us in your word, in your knowledge, in your truthfulness, and in your strength. Make it impossible for our enemies to come close to us. Destroy them before they come very close. We will be tempted, of course. Our defenses will be tried without a shadow of a doubt. Sometimes there may be breaches, but in the end we prevail, because that is your word and that is your promise. This evening we hold on resolutely to that very command of yours. Your own spoken word. The word that you gave to your children when you said to them that they should not worship any idol, they should not bow before any graven image. We have made mistakes in our lives. We have bowed before European idols. We have done everything but worship you in truth and honesty. But now, having realized the errors of our ways, we present ourselves before you, that you may do with us as you please. So it was prayed thousands of years ago. That same prayer will re-echo, because we are nothing without you. We are nothing without you. We can have the best defenses in the whole world. We can procure the finest anti-jamming equipment available. But it is you that will defend your inheritance. You will defend Biafra. You know that we are honest and truthful people. You know that we preach this gospel in the knowledge that your children must be free in the land of the living, that they may go back and worship you in Zion as they have done thousands of years ago. This is our prayer now and always, because we are your children. You can't abandon us to the forces of evil and darkness. That is not your will, and it can never be. That is why today, tomorrow, and always, as you have called us to undertake this very monumental and epic task, as you have determined that your word must be preached in the land, that very land you gave to our ancestors thousands of years ago, so shall it be done in our lifetime. Allow us to be worthy to serve thee. Chukwu Biama, allow us to be considered worthy to serve you. You know we speak the truth. Our enemies are liars. They are cheats and they are killers. They are bloodthirsty bastards, all of them. All of them bar none. They have brought their lies to bear upon all their dealings. Their tongue is very spiteful. against those of them who are righteous before your sight. Please don't allow shame to befall your children. Don't allow shame to befall your name, because we answer your name, we bear your name. That is why today we make this very prayer in the sure knowledge that Biafra will be restored as your own kingdom upon the face of the earth. That you will be worshipped every blessed day of our lives, as our children will do, and so will their children. Until time everlasting we have prayed in your name. He said.
We are here to ensure that the death of 3.5 million people is not forgotten. The reason why we exist is to ensure that their memory, that they can never ever be forgotten, that their memory will linger on forever, that as long as man walks this earth, this world will remember the 3.5 million people that they killed, men and women that did nothing, children that were innocent. Their only crime is to be blessed by God. That is the only crime they have committed. As those children were being slaughtered, as they were being stabbed to death by a very wicked and cruel world, spearheaded by Awolowo, everybody looked on and did nothing. Instead of them to help us, they ensured that our absolute blockade from land, air, and sea was absolute, that we may die, that the children of God may die. But lo and behold, Chukwuabiama determined that we cannot die, that we cannot perish.
Like a holy Mr. Producer.
IPOB, one way only, all we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. It's not about us to be together. It's not about us to be together. All we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. It's not about us to be together. The land of the rising sun. Yeah, let my people go. Yeah, let my people go. Ekele na dekalo, for making us to know what freedom is all about. Yeah, ekele na dekalo, for making us to know what freedom is all about. What freedom is, yeah. Ekele na dekalo, making us to know what freedom is all about. Blessing at all, make it legio. Opakise mu kisike, onyama different name. n'aka anyị nọkwa gị n'aka ọkwa gị mere ya wee nye elu ndị Israel anyị ma na ị ga-eme ya anyị nọkwa gị n'aka ọha ndị bụ niile ka anyị nwere ofu obi ka anyị chụ na-ewu ojii mmechi dị n'ụwa. All we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. It's not by force to be together. We are not fighting for war. We are fighting for freedom. Let my people go. Let my people go. Let my people go. I feel we want family. Let my people go. Live together as one. Let my people go. We can never be banished. Let my people go. No matter what the devil may do. Let my people go. Keep on going higher. Let my people go. We are one love. Let my people go. Umuchuko kikabiam. Let my people go. Nande Kano. Let my people go. Eji Mohira wase. Let my people go. Obasibi edike bagu. Let my people go. Eba poleno. Let my people go. Asengato lojo. Let my people go. Oye neche vise no kisi. Let my people go. Whether devil like it or not. Let my people go. Biafra must come. Let my people go. We must be free. Let my people go. Credible you see. Credible you see. Get me anywhere. Akwangwana Biafra ya dagesi no wasi. Guess we are make it a wonder. Guess we can we are going higher. Incredible you see what we are.
Biafra is a spirit. Biafra is an ideology that no one can kill. God sent the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, to resurrect our nation Biafra. Long live Biafra, freedom Biafra, God bless Biafra. From Sivachi. Biafra cannot die. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. The truth of their mind, freedom. Biafra must stand. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. The truth of their mind, freedom. I will marry Biafra, I will marry. I will marry. God bless Biafra. I will marry Biafra, I will marry. I will marry. God bless Biafra. The Titans don't want me on, and I don't know sweet no. The magic so badly to suffer. Oh no, oh no. Be blessed to live, be hard to die. Children that youth with me. Parents lamenting, the raping and the shooting, the massacre and the killing. Destroying our farmlands, and you don't ask what not against. To other people, enough is enough. We can take this no more. Biafra cannot die. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. Truth of their mind, freedom. Biafra must stand. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. Truth of their mind, freedom. I will marry Biafra, I will marry. I will marry. God bless Biafra. I will marry Biafra, I will marry. I will marry. God bless Biafra. It is time for the chosen people to find a nation. It is time for the chosen people to rewrite their history. It is time for the people that have been enslaved to rediscover their liberty, their brothers and sisters. The time for God to build our nation have come. Biafra nation, blessed nation. For a long time we have accepted domination. For a long time we have been strong. For a long time we have been ignored. It's time that God has chosen for us as God. Biafra nation, God bless Biafra. Anyhow we will exalt our nation, the nation Biafra. This neighbor does not fight for his freedom, somebody has been supported. Free, free, freedom, free, free, freedom. Let's struggle for our liberty, not with weapons of war, but with a common language and a conviction. The Catalonia speeches, Bomba Kalashnikov cannot do anything to the people that have received the same cause, the people that have tasted for freedom, people of Biafra together for victory. Only the struggle liberates.
I
Because of millions of Biafra men, women, and children massacred in cold war and are still being massacred. That is why we must continue to fight for them. But the message we're sending across is that you can kill the flesh, but not the spirit. The spirit of Biafra is alive.
It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True God, your mind freedom. Biafra must land. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True God, your mind freedom. I remember me, Biafra, I remember me. I remember me, God bless Biafra. I remember me, Biafra, I remember me.
Yes, sir. Once again, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, conscientious people wherever you are all over the world, I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra for the avoidance of doubt, and we are streaming live through Radio Biafra London, being anchored by the Deputy Leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Mazi Uche Ukafo. He is from Abatete. Abatete is in Anambra State, and Anambra State is Biafra land. He's the man who have assured us that he will not allow the heart of this project to see corruption. Mazi Uche Ukafo is standing on a deputizing capacity on behalf of our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Prince of Afari Ibeku, heir to the throne of Ibeku Kingdom, the one and the only man who stood up to speak for the collective interests of the Biafran people. For almost 6 decades now, nobody has done this. And so he remained the one and the only man that commands the loyalty of the Biafran people. He is from Afari Ibeku. Afari Ibeku is in Umuahia. Umuahia is in Abia State, and Abia State is Biafra land. By the special grace of Chukwu Okike Abiama, I remain George Onyibe. I am from Abo Boys in Delta State, and Delta State is Biafra land. Of course, as always, we acknowledge the Almighty Creator because it's our hope and say the lifting up of our head. He is everything to us. There is nothing we can boast of. There is nothing that we have He didn't give to us. For if we bend our knee, it should be, it must be, it can only be that we're doing that to offer praises to Him. For we have said we will never bow our knee to anybody. In the end, we do not lift up to the hills, not to the mountains, for help to restore Biafra. We look up to Chukwu Okike Abiama, for through Him our help comes. And I give Him praise this morning as always. Anye na jage mau, makanezi oku nebo somau, ihunanya ine nage ubiomage, ojuru anyanya dadiu, imakwani nwe gembangwe o, odi onye dekage, ebu afa no mega. Of course, we must continue. There was time they used to say, these people are small children. Oh, these people are small children. Why will bury Mwaka? Why will bury Mado? What is all this? Because all the atrocities and evil that have been committed against us as a people, they think they can sweep it under the carpet, and then somewhere along the line, the pain will go away. You know, as they always say, you get used to it. Get used to it, bro. They want us to get used to it, and then we will continue. But let me tell you, with every effort that is meant to shut down the issue of Biafra, you only raise up a monster you cannot handle. You are only wounding an animal you cannot kill. Very pathetic. Every effort you make to shut down IPOB, you are exposing yourself before the global community. It doesn't matter who you are. Anything you are doing to shut us down, we tell you you will be disgraced. The magnitude of your disgrace will know no bound. They don't know. It's unbelievable. We are patiently, systematically engaging the enemies of Biafra. People do not understand. Some of you are tired already. But I don't blame you. When you have mixed blood inside you, there are few pressure you can wait on. But of course, when your father, your mother, you are a full-blooded Biafran. And then I can assure you, Chukwu Okike Abiama have prepared you for all things. People can yap and misbehave. But you know yourself. Your language don't change. Your language don't change. And that is why I will appeal once again this morning. When Biafra shall be restored, of course in our lifetime, I appeal to Biafra. I want to work in DNA office. We can't go through all this nonsense and then our children begin to go over them again. And then there is no need for us to even talk about Biafra. Not to talk of we allowing you, nonsense saboteur, to have a breathing space. Biafra will come after Biafra will come. Because there will be need for mobbing. We will mob our land. And then when people talk, we look at them. When people do what they do, we look at them. From behind, we observe you. Because we've been there. We know you. We know everything you have done. We know your plan. You know how you function. But of course, not everybody can wake up at the same time. And so we keep on shouting. We keep on shouting. We keep on shouting. There is a prophecy by our leader. All of them have been fulfilled. Only one. Only one. And that one is that they will kill us and we will kill them. You don't know how I'm waiting for that day. And then we pray for Fulani to build more barrack in Biafra land. We pray for more chicken points. We pray for more military presence in Biafra land. Come and occupy our land. We pray for more Boko Haram. We pray for all these things, your hate speech. We pray, let them be functional. Because you don't know what is coming for you. We're studying our terrain. You're studying all of you, including George Unibe. Is a suspect, not to talk of you. And then when we are ready, you will understand the implication behind that words. 100 men. Give me 100 men, and I will give you Biafra. Of course, the number is rising on daily basis. And this is one thing that should keep Nigerians on their heel and make them fear. Because we are done with all of you. But this morning, I'm not here to present any topic, but rather we're going to share more light on the revelational broadcast of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, yesterday. When people weep and cry in pain, you see arrogancy. When people point out to you, this thing is evil, you only see complain. But don't worry, a day will come, you will ask us to speak, and you will not hear from us. There are truths we know. My father, for instance, told me that the problem we're facing in Nigeria today is Nnamdi Azikiwe. Our leader said so many things yesterday. I keep quiet and I'm watching. And we have to love the truth. The work of Nnamdi Azikiwe has contributed to so many problems we are facing. But sometimes when you say what people have done, they say, I cannot say that, I cannot say that, but we do not blame anybody or your state for you. If we like, we tell ourselves the truth. If we like, we deceive ourselves. At the end of the day, Yoruba will look at us as a wulu call me. Hey, our Nigeria, our Nigeria. Oh, hey, Nnamdi Azikiwe. But I thank God that Nnamdi Azikiwe placed us into this mess. But Nnamdi Kanu is here to remove us. The same way they thought they ended Biafra war in Afari Beku. And I tell you, the one more fierce and deadly is rising from Afari Beku or Setiana. For those of you who are not privileged to listen to our leader broadcast, I'm going to try to analyze it and focus on certain points you need to know. We say, go and serve the zoo. Come back in disgrace. All of you who have served the zoo, where are you? Starting from Ken Saluwa down to Ilichima Obiwale. All of you that have served this, where are you? Look at what they did to Alam this year. And those of you in power now, you think you are invincible. Hand will touch all of you. The only thing that will save you, doesn't matter who you are. Governors, all of you, senator, look for IPOB and join. Because the few of you that will be left, we are waiting for Hausa Fulani to destroy all of you. The few of you that will left, and Carbon will say, we will flog a lot of you. Look at you. Look at you. But you see, they are boasting, they are bluffing. But we don't bluff because the truth remains that one day, Monkey Go market no go return. You are planning, of course we are planning. It's just that the day of the war have not been fixed. Did you not hear this language in 2014? And leaders say you people are planning and we are planning. The only difference is that we have not fixed the day for the war. Because it has already begun, not officially announced. And so when you are doing what you are doing, you should be ashamed of yourself. I have to say something. But of course, the person that gave me this information, I truly apologize if it hurts you in any way. But as I'm talking to you, they are building house for Jubri to hide him somewhere in Mama Daora house. But we are waiting for them. Your president is building houses everywhere. Where is going to hide? Thunder will fire all of you. I'm saying it so that you people will change the location. Because the stolen money of Buhari use it to build house everywhere in Nigeria. No house will contain Buhari, Jubri in Nigeria. Go and build it in Chad or go back to Sudan and build it. So those of you who are intelligent, inside intelligent Nigeria, the house you are building to hide Buhari, Jubri, in Mama Daora compound, we know all those things. God will punish all of you. But at least for the very first time, all the governors in Nigeria are not traveling overseas as they used to. They are now sending people. Come and travel overseas now. May thunder fire all of you. We want to make sure we bury you slowly and respectfully. But you want to be buried very hopelessly. We assure you, you made Alam Eshie to come back from London with rapper. And you were rejoicing. DSS rejoicing. All of you, Buhari has started it. Did he not come back, escape in Japan with skirts? In fact, our prayer is to meet Jubri. And when we meet him, we will give him example that no president has ever experienced in his life. I think he want to impersonate Buhari. We are done with him. Anywhere you are going in the world, the reason we are keeping you, El-Rufai, Kwankwaso, all of you governor, Oguanye, all of you governor, Chibikaneti, the reason we are keeping you quiet is because we want to use your God to set example. The day we will confront Buhari, the day we will hold Jubri, the day we will hold him. Traveling has reduced. Nobody traveling. Hey, we are going to China to beg China to help us build the Enugu. Hey, we're going to beg China to help us, Indonesia to help us build the River State. Hey, we are going to beg India to help us build Abo. Shame on all of you. Jubri, we will get you. Jubri, we will get you. In fact, before all of you were traveling, hey, very soon now you'll be following Libya. We are assuring you, all of you political criminals in Nigeria, you will follow Libya to go out very soon. Divide Nigeria now, you have the time. You will kill us. But the prophecy didn't end there. We will kill you. Our leader came on air and lament. Sometimes it looked like we're talking to our people more than we're talking to the enemy because we don't have any issue with them. I told somebody, when I come out, I tell you that are you stupid? I'm not actually insulting you. I'm actually creating an atmosphere for you to re-examine yourself. Maybe you are stupid, you don't know. Today we are only asking you questions. But next time we will be directing it to you. And so you understand that there is a difference between are you stupid or you are stupid. Idiots everywhere. Idiots. In the corridor of power. Idiots everywhere. You think we are stupid. Our leader made mention of strategic issues, which we must repeat. The sin of Nnamdi Azikiwe is unbelievable. Our leader didn't even reveal all of them. But I'm happy for our people, they know this truth. Because when Nnamdi Azikiwe died, Nigeria declared public holiday. The question is, why did they not declare public holiday when Philip Effiong died? But that public holiday they declared for Nnamdi Azikiwe, the people of Anambra did not honor it. That should be around 1994, about, if I'm not mistaken. Because most people will not know when you say Ojukwu was in charge of Biafra land for 3 years. He wanted the nation. But then there was somebody like Nnamdi Azikiwe gallivanting everywhere, thwarting their effort. Because you want to be the Zik of Africa. You can't even be the Zik of Nnewi. You can't even be the Zik of Enugu Sef. They will stone you. And now you want to be Zik of Africa. And then where did he lead you to? You betray your mother, you betray your father, you betrayed everybody. All of your evil, including Ojukwu brother, they gave money to buy ammunition. He went to use the money abroad. There is somebody that normally calls this radio. I blocked that person. Most of you will be wondering, why are this group not calling George Unibegin? I blocked them. Because I made a broadcast here and said, this man did this. One of them called me. I said, don't you know that I related to Ojukwu? He realized himself before he finished uttering that garbage from his mouth. I respected him because I have great respect for him. After that broadcast, I blocked him. You don't build your energy on blackmailing people who are fighting for you. And then because one of them is related to you, you are covering him. You people share with no bound. Ojukwu was fighting for Biafra. One of his brother was eating the money meant for ammunition. Today now we wake up, somebody say, I'm not saying I'm the kind of brother, and you are betraying. Thunder will fire you. Thunder will fire you. This is how painful it can be. And then some few good men are sacrificing their life to make sure that we are alive today. And then some lunatic are there claiming nonsense. We get to send on a message. We get here, they do this thing before. If we are here to do business, we do business. The person I'm talking, we know is the person I'm talking. I block him this morning. I don't want to talk to him. Because if I respect you, if you do something, I will keep you quiet and walk away. If I begin to respond to you, know say your madness, they need to cure and thunder fire you. Some of you will not understand. People who are not honorable, who know nothing about honor, dignity, they want you to give it to them. And then the day we begin to tell ourselves the truth, that day Biafra is come already. For your information, Biafra is already here. It's here already. Because after the war, they made sure they charge you for treason. You talk about Biafra, you are gone. But what is happening today? We're not only talking about Biafra, we have marched with the flag of Biafra in Lagos State, with the flag of Biafra in Abuja, we have marched with the flag of Biafra anywhere we want. But in as much as we want to respect your sovereignty as Oduduwa country, because you're not a nation, or as a Hausa nation, of course I give it to you, or as Fulani invaders, it's not going to last for a very long time. But here in Biafra land, we are the owner of the land. We tell you how it works. When you are displaying yourself, show of power in the name of ministry exercise, you are showing power. We're just watching you, observing how stupid you can be. And one day we shall tell the story of your stupidity. Nonsense people. Buying a second-hand helicopter everywhere, second-hand jet bomber, expired grenade to come and kill us. Recruiting tout in the name of Boko Haram, giving their uniform, calling them army, police, SAS, and the rest useless name. You people don't know what is coming. But let's look at one of the stupid idiots in the history. And the association of these idiots, mad people. Like I said, we are not preaching a new topic this morning. But the reflection on what our leader took time, almost 3 hours yesterday, lamenting. The man came to Puakwe.
And in that very corner of Africa, where you decreed long ago that your light will shine and through Biafra, light will come into Africa. We pray and we ask for the fulfillment of that divine proclamation, that this very IPOB will remain the vehicle through which your proclamations will come to pass in the lives of men. Therefore, we ask you, O Heavenly Father, to accept every praise, every adulation, every adoration, every bowed head, every bended knee, in total submission to your will, that your will, O Elohim, may be done in the lives of your children and those who believe in your redeeming grace. All this we ask in the name above every other name, the creator of time, space, and everything else in between. Now and forevermore. He said, without further hesitation, we will proceed this very evening to preach this very gospel as has been handed down to us to preach, because anything we speak behind this very microphone will inevitably come to pass. All that we have said have come to pass. All that we prophesy will come to pass. And in the end, Biafra will come. There is nothing our enemies can do about it. We stand here, or in my case, we sit on this very hallowed chair this evening, behind the Radio Biafra microphone, to proclaim the truth that will sink the damnable zoological republic, that very hellish British creation. It was never designed for human habitation. It is a country with no name, a country with no history, no culture, no class, no panache. That is nothing, absolutely nothing. Only a bunch of animals roaming around endlessly and directionless. A country where cattle is more valuable than human beings. A country where mediocrity is celebrated, where ignorance is exalted, and where plagiarism is accepted as the norm. That can never be the portion for Biafrans. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. This very evening we have come with three simple topics, very simple. Who started hate speech in the zoo? All of you celebrating and adoring Dr. Sikiwe. I will not call him Nnamdi Sikiwe because he never behaved like somebody who answers to that very glorious name Nnamdi. Nnamdi means my Redeemer liveth. The name that I bear means my Redeemer liveth, which means that Chukwokika Abiyama is with us at all times. Sikiwe was a failure. This evening we shall prove it. And we come to Allen Onyema. He has discovered, to his great shock, that once you utter any set of words against IPOB or against its leader, your world will come crashing down. What is happening to Allen today will be a warning to every future Ifulefu that they will never love you. But we shall get to that later. This evening we commence, and I ask you to bring your pen and your paper. If you don't have a writing material, if you don't have your pen and your paper, this lecture will be lost on you, because we don't want the zoo to become the same again after tonight. Therefore, you must write, that you do not forget. So that you do not forget this very lecture this evening, because I assure you, after this very lecture, we will play this broadcast over and over again. We will make sure that everybody, every human being, every animal, those who are flying in the air, those that are walking on all fours on the ground, even those caged, they will understand that there is nothing called Nigeria, there is no hope. They are all a bunch of hypocrites. All of them are hypocrites. Nobody loves Nigeria. It is impossible to love something that is artificially created. It is impossible for you to love something that Elohim did not make. So artificial is unbelievable. All of the idiots who pride themselves in saying they are one Nigerians. Tonight is your shame. And we start very methodically, very diligently, that the world may bear us witness that this very agitation led by IPOB is not only righteous, but is the right thing to do at the right time, because there is nothing called Nigeria. The Fulani Caliphate is messing up with everybody. They are toying with our brains. They have deceived us. They are killing us. They are making life intolerable. Nothing seems to be functioning. No education, no viable school system, no health care, no roads. There are no jobs. Life is meaningless only for the criminals, the looters, the cheats, and the liars. No human being can stay under such a regime only if you are an animal. And that is why I call Nigeria a zoo. I call Nigeria a zoo because they do not reason. The people cannot reason. Even dogs are better than them because they have brain but they cannot reason very well with it. They have eyes but they cannot see. They have ears, they do not hear. I do not understand. I begin to worry. To ask in heaven, are you sure you created these people from West Africa? What is wrong with them? No wonder the Europeans came to West Africa to harvest us, to the Americans, to work for them as farm animals. There is something wrong with our brain, I swear it. There is something wrong. Nobody can see what is happening in the zoo and wake up the next day to say they are Nigerian. There is something wrong with your brain, I assure you. You must be very sick. I never have just discovered it. That you cannot serve Nigeria. It is impossible. Once you try it, you will be destroyed. Once you try it, Elohim will take away his protection and his glory from you. Once you try it, you become a person non grata to IPOB. And once you try it, you'll be destroyed by the food that you seek to serve. Heaven will bear me witness that I do not lie. And I am a person. I do not lie. That is why this IPOB, I assure you, will ensure that Biafra comes in our time. Tell your friends, if you've not told them, tell them to bring their pen and paper tonight. That posterity will bear us witness that we want this generation of indomie eaters and cultists who do not go to school. Even Jonathan is lamenting. Your universities are filled with cults because you do not study. You don't study. That is why a senator can plagiarize a law written by the Singaporean parliament and bring it into the zoo, and the journalist is interviewing him, asking him about the laws on this speech. When this stupid journalist from Channels Television should be asking that idiot, where did you copy this from? It is called copyright infringement. It is called plagiarism. If you try it anywhere in this world that is civilized, you go to jail. But only in the zoo, all of you are ashamed of yourselves. A senator that you claim you voted for went to Singapore, downloaded Singapore laws online, brought to you, to your so-called Senate. They brought it to your Senate. And that is what you're debating. It's not going to ask the idiots, where did you get this thing from? Was it originally crafted by you? But the zoo is accepting plagiarism. This is very stupid. Let me say this. Any woman or Biafran, let me just say Biafran. Anytime the Fulanis want to destroy you, they first push you to insult IPOB. Before IPOB, they push you to insult your people. You didn't start with Alamogema. Zeke is the beginning of all our mess. And tonight I will try to prove it. With all due respect to our elder and father, Mbasilika Mechi, that worked under Zeke, and they feel like him, I want to prove to him and the rest who are listening this evening that Zeke is an abject failure. Total failure. And the beginning of all our problems. They call for reformation. All this nonsense residing in Lagos and in Abuja, in Kano and in Kaduna, those idiots, they are responsible for what is happening to us today. And I'm very glad that Alan Onyema has now felt it, to understand that no matter how much, no matter how expensive the gift it is that you give to the child, of your mistress or concubine, they will only call you uncle, never father, because you're not. You are not a Nigerian before the Fulani Caliphate. You are just Nyamri and a Biafran agitator. That's who you are. And today they have proven it to you. We'll get to that later. But try to understand this. They push you, they brought you to perhaps be insolent towards IPOB because they know it's only IPOB who can save them. Only IPOB can. Once they isolate you and take you away from the position of IPOB, then you're gone. The reason why the Zia Madueke was not deported, or should I say, repatriated from England, from London, is because of the very robust and consistent campaign we mounted. By the end of this evening, we'll decide if Onyema is worthy of our protection or not. But first, let's look at hate speech. There is a man, the scion, S-C-I-O-N, the scion of the Caliphate, a descendant of Othman Dan Fodio, a royal prince, this man, Ahmadu Bello. The Northerners looked up to him. By the Northerners, I mean the 13 Al-Majri states in the north, the Sharia states. They looked up to him to try and save them. He was their Messiah. And he did everything. The British trained him, groomed him, because when Britain went to the north, as I've explained time and time again, the hatred of Britain towards Biafran people is because we resisted them. The Benin people resisted them. We fought them year after year, decade after decade, until Arochukwu fell in 1904. I've been saying this all the time, but I don't think our people actually understand the importance of these history lessons that we give for free on Radio Biafra. When they went to the north, when the white man went to the north, the missionaries as well, with them, the colonial masters and the missionaries, Fulani said, you can come in and do whatever you like, but don't bring the Bible here. That's what they told them. We don't need your education, we don't need your Bible. The same Boko Haram you have today, it didn't start today. It started from the time before Ahmadu Bello was born. We don't want to go to school. That is Boko Haram. The terrorist group that you have to that from us, Britain will tell you this. So it's like, you must get your pen and paper, please. It's very, very important. This man, Ahmadu Bello, he's a Fulani Caliphate lord. They were based in Sokoto. Sokoto was called Gobert. Sokoto is a Hausa territory. Understand this? This is something that Nigerians do not understand. They do not know this. They don't know the way the mind of the Caliphate works. They came into Gobert. You know how they managed to take over Sokoto? The same way they took Ilorin, they'll get to Ilorin later. You know how they took Sokoto from the Hausa people? They said to them that we have come to fight corruption. We have come to bring a purer form of Islam. We have come to make sure that the burden of dictatorial leadership is gone. The same thing that's telling you today. So the same rubbish that's telling you today, they told our people nearly 400 years ago. It didn't start today. It's not a new thing. That is why I wonder when people say we are educated, we are intellectuals, we are professors, I look at them and I laugh at them. And we that are educated, we in IPOB, to them, we are not educated. Because of this evening, we will know who is educated and who is not. The Fulanis came and said to the Hausa people, do you know that man called Othman Dan Fodio, the founder of this new should I say, Fulani movement, this jihadi onslaught, the man that boasted that he would dip the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. He came into Hausa land disguised as a teacher. Understand this very well. He came into Hausa land disguised as a teacher. He came in as an ordinary teacher. I'm just trying to lay a foundation for this whole hate speech nonsense to prove to the world, because I know everybody's listening to this very broadcast. I want to prove to humanity that Fulani people brought hatred and evil into Nigeria. And I want to tell you how they brought it in and from where. And I'm telling you this evening, they started from Sokoto. Othman Dan Fodio was an ordinary teacher at the house of the king of Katsina. The Habe monarchies, HABE. The Hausas had a very thriving civilization. I will see this, Hausa people had a thriving civilization, one of the most advanced in West Africa. 380 years ago, the Hausa people were manufacturing their own guns with pellets. Go and ask. That was why Flora Shaw liked the Hausas so much. Because her father was a military general. And she was wondering when she went to Kano. She was wondering, in fact, when she passed through Zaria, she was wondering, how come these people, as far back as 380 years ago, of course, that time it was nearly about 2,000
290 to 300 year old. As at that time, how come these people that we thought were very primitive from Africa could manufacture their own guns? Hausa people were manufacturing their own guns. Fulani only came with bow and arrow and cattle, nothing else. Some of you do not understand this. That the evil that you see in some Fulani people, especially their leaders, came from the fact, or should I say, comes from the fact that they don't eat beef. Some of you don't know that. They drink the blood of cattle. Go and do your research, go through your history books. It will confirm everything that I'm telling you this evening. Go through it very carefully. The Fulanis, they came. They said to the Hausa king of Katsina, oh, we want to teach your children. I'm a scholar, I'm from Senegal. I want to teach your children how to read and write Arabic, how to read Quran and all the rest of it. Do you know, as this man was busy teaching, the same thing that when Buhari, when he was alive, the same way they confused some of you idiots to think that he's a reformed Democrat that is coming to fight corruption. The same thing that Sultan Danfodio did. They allowed him into the palace. Because he's a scholar, he's a teacher, they saw him as an intellectual within the Islamic world, or should I say Islamic studies. They allowed him in. He started to work on the gardeners, the domestic servants. He started to preach them. We have come to fight corruption. We must fight corruption. Corruption is killing everybody. The same rubbish you're hearing today. That was exactly what they told the Hausa peasants. And the Hausa peasants stupidly aligned themselves with the Fulanis, and all their kings were killed. Are you following what I'm telling you? This is Fallen Onyema and his type. Before we come on air, before we sit here to preach this very gospel, we have done our research. I challenge anybody at all, any tanker with any alamaji to counter what I'm telling you. They say, of course they can't. They know it's the truth. Instead, they will abandon the topic and they'll be talking of something else. They cannot challenge what I'm telling you this evening. That was how they got into the Hausa people. Hausa foolishly allowed them. They killed every Habi monarch you had in the north. And in this place brought emirs. The emirs that you're seeing in the north is a modern Fulani thing. They come with it, with their cattle. Some of you don't know this. There were no emirs in the north before, none whatsoever. What you had were kings and queens. The Fulani brought their emirs. Before the Hausa people realized what had happened to them, it was too late. Everywhere is a Fulani emirate. And to cover the whole nonsense up, they brought Islam, their own version of Wahhabi Islam, to confuse what is left of the brain of the Hausa man. And the Hausa man became useless. That till today, the only thing he has is his language and nothing else. The Hausa people, they are useless. So it's actually in the interest of the Hausa people to support the emergence of Biafra. That is the only way they can go back to who they used to be, to their former glory and greatness. Ahmadu Bello is the first very primitive xenophobe you had. And you ask yourself, what did the Igbos do to this man? This Ahmadu Bello, he was knighted. Admittedly, he speaks very crisp and clear English. Did Igbo people kill any Fulanis in the north? The answer is no. What is the crime of the Igbo people? This is something that Allen Onyema never knew, but I'm telling you tonight for free. I am telling Ohaneze, Nyamodo, I am telling the so-called governors, all of them, from the so-called South and Southeast, the entire Biafra land, I wish they can listen and learn that these people, the same thing for Jibika Mechi. You think if you pretend you're not Igbo, you're from Igbo, I'm not Igbo, I'm descended from Diri people, they will allow you to go in, you are mad. You are insane. Ahmadu Bello, listen very carefully. Today they are bringing hate speech bill to the zoo. I want to prove that it's the same people introducing hate speech bill. They are the hate speech makers. They brought hate into Nigerian politics. They brought hate. Let me say this thing to people because I read today Junaid Mohammed, as usual, that glorified Alamati. He wasn't from both sides of the mouth. That the Igbos with them in power, there will be no Nigeria. They killed the leaders of other people. There is an impression I wish to correct this evening for the whole world to hear. The reason why Nzogu killed Ahmadu Bello was because of this speech. And the speech that Ahmadu Bello also gave in 1959 when he came to Sandhurst. Some of you know Sandhurst, where they train their soldiers. Nzogu was there. And so a few other people. Some of you don't know history because you don't read, you don't study, you don't learn. All it is, you gossip. You get your 2 gigabytes of data, you go online, looking for Babcock sex video, looking for Big Brother. That's all you do. And you say, okay, can I raise the volume up? What? Absolute rubbish. Your mates are all over the world, protesting and learning, studying and trying to grasp how a functioning modern society should run. But you're a lazy youth in the zoo. What do you know? Listen very carefully to this. It was, you see these Fulani people telling you about hate speech. It's not good. Hate speech is bad. They are the ones that brought hate speech. You see the Fulani telling you, we are fighting corruption. Onema is corrupt. They are the granddaddy of corruption. Go and check them everywhere. The only thing they know how to do very well is to protect their collective interest. They know how to protect one another. And that is the only thing working in the favor of Onyema this evening a bit. Because we need to protect our own. You remember Ibrahim Lamode of EFCC, how much he stole? We are going to remind the FBI, since the Department of Justice, let me not go to that. Let me finish first. Ahmadu Bello was the first hate speech maker in the queue, number 1. These are the people that hate everybody who is not like them. And Britain created what I would call an experiment in the zoo. Nigeria was not meant to be. Britain knows this. During the time of independence, they asked Zeke and said to him, have you seen what happened in India? You now have Pakistan, which is predominantly Muslim, India, which is predominantly Hindu, and you have Bangladesh as well. Do you want to divide? Zeke said no. He had this very distorted view of what Pan-Africanism is all about. But I will educate Zeke posthumously about Pan-Africanism because I'm a Pan-Africanist myself. I believe Africa should be one. But the problem is, how do you get there? That is the problem. And that is where Africa is failing. We shall deal with that on a later date. Fulani, we are the first to utilize hate speech in order to dominate the political space. They want to stifle debate. They don't want you to criticize them. When they bring cattle to your village and slaughter your mothers and rape your daughters, they want you to keep quiet. Because anything you say is hate speech. I hope you understand it. That is why some of you are so daft you don't understand. Some of these ones that work for Channels TV, I don't know where they brought these idiots from. They can see what is happening. Maybe some of them are Yoruba Muslim. Who knows? You know, conquered from, you know that Stockholm syndrome. Once you're conquered, you copy everything from the conqueror. You become very subservient and very loyal. That's what happened to Yoruba Muslims. And it's very sad. Very, very sad. I want us to please listen. It's on my wall, of course. But some of you, I can't understand for the life of me why people don't want to delve into what Ahmadu Bello said. This is the man they call the founding father, one of the 3 founding fathers of Nigeria. When you hear the Alimati from the north say, oh, this is our founding father, they are talking about this man. Some of you claim you love Nigeria. Let's make Nigeria great, green, white, green. Now, let us go and see and play it for the whole world to hear what this man actually said right from the beginning, who he is, and what it's all about. Let us, I want the whole, because sometimes our people, maybe it's due to lack of, there's electricity to charge your mobile devices or whatever you use to browse online. But this is, I'm going to play it for the whole world to hear. The children of this man are today lecturing us about what constitutes hate speech. I want to ask Alamajiri in the north, please tell me what this is all about.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have I'd almost call an obsession about the Igbos.
This is the BBC. What you're hearing here is a BBC reporter talking to Ahmadu Bello. Listen carefully. This was before independence. Or should I say shortly afterwards? The British government, they knew that the Fulani people are obsessed. You know what happens when you have obsession? When you want something and you obsess, it leads to mental map, it leads to insight. This BBC reporter is now asking, why is it that the Fulanis are obsessed with Igbo people? So the hatred did not start today. I hope Alononyama is listening. I hope Munyamu is listening. I hope the GCS governors are listening. I hope the idiot with the 2x2 hotel in Jalingo is listening. The hatred they have for you did not start today. The white man is now asking Ahmadu Bello, Why do you hate the evil so much? What did they do to you? Let us hear what the man has to say. Because some of you don't know history. We try as much as possible to educate some of you, but it goes through one ear and pops out through the other ear. You don't pay any attention. You don't retain any information. But this evening, by the grace of Elohim, you retain something tonight. I want to prove to you that the basis of your so-called one Nigerianism is flawed. I want to prove to you that you people are the miscreants. I want to prove to you that you people are the doubts. I want to prove to you that you people are the illiterates. I want to prove to an average Nigerian tonight that all their education is useless and hopeless. You cannot love a country created by somebody like this. Let us hear what the man has to say.
Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities. Because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the...
Are you listening to what the founder of Nigeria is saying? This is the man that Buhari, the dead one, borrowed all his philosophy from. This is the man that is the spiritual guide for Junaid Mohammed and Nangabulahi. All those Janjaweed Alamajid senators that you see, this is the man that they look up to. Some of you hearing what he's saying about you, I don't know are you listening to what he's saying. You people you dominate. So anytime they see a successful businessman from Biafra land, they must shut the person down because the person has now come to dominate. Do you see the basis of all the lies? This was before the war. Some people will say, oh, Igbo people are domineering. But this was way, almost 10, 11 years before the war. Can you hear what Ahmadu Bello is saying? A so-called founder of Nigeria. Let's make Nigeria one. Nigeria must be united. Is Gowon listening? At this point, when this man was saying this thing, are you telling me that Igbos were planning to rebel, that Biafrans were planning to break away from Nigeria? I want to ask them, what prompted this? Because of sheer hard work and blessing of God in heaven. We are a blessed people. And because we are a blessed people, because Biafrans are blessed, you will always have enemies. People will be envious and jealous of you. It's in the scriptures. Joseph and the brothers. Once you're beloved, once you're loved, the same thing is happening to Israel, in the midst of enemies. Once you're loved and appreciated, you will have it. It is in the nature of black people. They will create anything that there is none. I want to ask those bringing hate speech, what will you call this comment by Ahmadu Bello? I played this thing in 2015, and Buhari was all over the place. What will you call it? This man said Igbos are domineering. We won't allow them. There is no way we can allow them to be part of Nigeria. The same Nigeria that kind of they were singing national anthem. As I picked them from South Africa, they broke into Nigerian national anthem. I was looking at the idiot and I was thinking to myself, can you see how stupid people are? In a country that you don't know that you are not wanted. They are okay with you if you can obtain a PhD and open a small two chemist. They are okay with it. But once you become a successful millionaire and inventor, once you become somebody important, you better be that important in USA or in Europe, not in the zoo. Because once you're in the zoo, you're finished, you're gone. Unless you're prepared to be doing what Emefiele is doing, which is washing toilet for them. To answer CBN governor. He goes into the kitchen to fetch tea for them. Haven't you seen him? He's a boy, that's what we. So if you are a Biafran and you want to be reckoned with in government, then you must be their slave. That's why Obiano will be begging them to take off his cap and be begging them, please read the election for me. I want to go in and I'll do anything you want me to do for you. And that's how they brought Fulani headsmen into Anambra State. All your governors, that's what they're doing. If you don't know, let me tell you. That's why you have a governor today, he will say one thing, tomorrow he will say another thing. None of them is consistent, not one single soul. Now we're terrified. Because Fulani will remove them from power. Because Britain will look the other way. After all the media in Lagos and Ibadan and Abuja, anything the government says they should have. If the government can control the judiciary, how about ordinary newspaper? Of course, they're just. This is what the founder of Nigeria said, your so-called founding father. That means that from the inception of Nigeria, Biafrans were hated. Till today, they still hate you. Then you don't understand it. You think I will just came up one that started doing Biafra for the sake of it? No. The hatred is too much. The resentment is too much. The neglect is too much. No human being can live through this. And I've said this, but allow me to repeat. If you don't have a pen and paper, go and get it. I am from the mold of those slaves they captured in Onitsha and took them to Georgia, to Savannah. And instead of them to be slaves to white people, they drowned in the creek, in the Savannah. I've been there myself. That's where people like us come from. Not from the Fulefus you see every blessed day, talking nonsense about their useless one Nigeria. You have seen it. The founding father. So when they come up and say, oh, this Nigeria, we must try and build Nigeria. But the person that brought the foundation stone, laid it in such a way that there will always be hatred against you. They will always hate you. Let us continue to hear what he has to say.
Solely with Northerners and not with other Nigerians, a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a Northerner first.
A Northerner first. That is exactly what they're doing today. Chief of Army Staff, Northerner first. That was what they came to. I warned you anyway. I warned you many years ago that some of you won't listen. So what you're getting today is what you deserve. Northerner first. Northern Army Chief of Army Staff, Air Vice Marshal, whatever for the Air Force Chief, Customs, Chief Justice of the Federation, Attorney General of the Federation. Everybody is a Northerner first. All the army formations, police commissioners, everywhere Northerners first. Can you see it? So where is the Nigeria you're talking about? This is the man they claim founded Nigeria. He's the founding father of Nigeria. So Nigeria, with the help of the British, is their Northerner first creation. Has that not reflected in the number of heads of state that they have produced? All failures, by the way. All failures, by none. All failures. Look at them again now. In office, failures that they can't even legislate, they can't even draft any proper legislation. They have to go to Singapore to go and copy. And they brought it and useless Yoruba journalists in Jersey TV. Can you tell us about your bill? The bill is not his own. He plagiarized it from Singapore Parliament. You people have no shame. No shame whatsoever. Let us hear what Ahmadu Bello has to say.
If you can't get a Northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract.
Do you know what they're saying? This is what I'm actually saying to you. If we cannot get a Northerner to fill a position in the so-called Nigeria, we will go and bring a white man to do it. And you want me to say I'm a Nigerian? God's punishment of you people are evil. You people are evil. And idiots like himself. You want me to say I'm a Nigerian? When the founder of Nigeria said that he would rather give a job to a white man than to give it to a fellow black African, and tomorrow you tell me Africa should be one, let us come together in Africa. Are you stupid? Are you insane? Do you see how foolish we are? They found these are, is it not hate speech? What else is hate speech? I won't give you a job. Although you're a Nigerian, although I'm a Nigerian, then I'd rather give a job to a white person than to give it. And this is Ahmadu Bello. They celebrate him every year. They name the university after him every year. That is how stupid Southerners are. It seems to me that the more you live to the Atlantic Ocean, the more useless we are. I'm telling you the truth. I'm being honest. You know me enough to be honest. The closer you are to the Atlantic, the more foolish you are in the brain. You can no longer listen. And if they're saying Northerners first, you think they're going to promote our people. You're dreaming. It's only Fulani. It's only Fulani. Malam Aminu Kano had to fight his way into relevance. Aminu Kano didn't join them. They formed the MPC, Northern People's Congress. Aminu Kano, a true typical Hausa man, formed his own political party. Not that rubbish they're doing there. Because Aminu Kano knows the history of the Fulanis. But today, because they conquered the northern part of Yoruba, and because Yoruba media dominates the space in the swing, they're just, oh gosh, I don't understand these people. Do you see why they say that blacks are a bit funny in the head? You see, when a white man says that blacks are a bit foolish in the head, you can see they have a reason now, don't you? Can you see? that are justified in what they're saying. It's not that they're racist. Of course they're not. They're just telling you reality. Have you seen or heard a white man insulting Japanese? Of course not, because the part is advanced. This is the founding father of Nigeria. That's all of you are getting green, white, and I'm a Nigerian. We believe in Nigeria. These are the idiots that laid the foundation of hatred. The foundation of hatred that's eating us up. That very foundation led to the pogrom of 1966. That foundation led to the death of nearly 2 million children, 67 to 70. That foundation is why Asoloka, or should I say, was why Akaloka was killed, beheaded, Gideon. That is why that same foundation, why Arewala Majiri, this one's doing Babiala on the streets, can get together in Abuja. I don't know who wrote the speech for them, saying that all Igbos are now expelled from the north. It's not hate speech. You can see how foolish. Instead of people to rise up and confront evil, you'll be asking yourself, but what did Siri say about this man? You know that line of a slave. Anything Nigeria does, as one of our brothers wrote, I think it's Nicholas, if you slap on a slave on the right hand side in Abuja, he will say, oh, wait for me in Lagos, so when I come, you can slap me on the other side. The slaves, they never receive. They can never ask themselves, why is it that every commissioner is from the north? Every commissioner is a Fulani. Every commissioner is a Muslim. In your own land, police commissioner are all from the north. You don't reason. You don't ask yourself questions. But here we do. Instead of them to give the job to an Igbo man, we better give it to a white man. And you want me to be in that country? Oh dear. Let us continue. We must listen to this man. This is the man, founder of Nigeria. Listen to him. He's Fulani. This is the basis of all the hatred against you. It will never ever go away. And the fact that Uzua will kill this man. The hatred, they magnified it 1,000-fold. That's the man that Junaid Mohammed is. Junaid Mohammed will not play this video for you. You will not, Kenyans will not play this or call panelists to debate this. Never. Never, ever, ever. Newspapers will not carry this very broadcast this evening. They will not. Because they will offend the Fulani masters from the north. I'm sure now you're following what is happening. We must listen to all of it.
If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian that's on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, for as far as I can foresee, because it would be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions, coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed. Doesn't this damage the eye?
Did you hear it? I will have people, I was Fulani coming out of schools without job might lead to bloodshed. From the beginning, bloodshed. Bloodshed. These people are unrepentant killers. They're not shedding blood. Even from there is no war going on. But Ahmadu Bello is telling you that there will be bloodshed. You do not have jobs, there will be bloodshed. That's why Jonathan went and they stoned him. Nothing happened. If you try that in the south, every newspaper, they stone the president. They want war, they stone the president. It is in the same Nigeria that a referendum, ordinary referendum, that people can check up the meaning in the dictionary. Where the Adamawa today, and Basono had referendum in 1961. But to an average Nigerian journalist and commentator, if you say referendum, you say it's war. You want to bring war. You're saying that I'm talking about referendum to ask people to, no, it's war. You want to fight a war. You said to them, no, sir, it is not it's referendum. Can I please refer you to the nearest dictionary? No, it's war. China's will pick it up, it is war. They want to cross war. I said, no, I am asking for a referendum. The same thing that just happened in Ethiopia a few hours ago. Is that war? No, but in Nigeria it's war. You can see how foolish they are. In Nigeria it is war. I only one video, just one single video, to lay the foundation so the world can understand that Nigeria is not viable, that the world may know that Nigeria cannot survive, that Britain may know that cage, that zoo they built and caged everybody is unsustainable. Unsustainable. Let heaven fall, but that zoo must fall first. It must come down. That zoo must collapse. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter. Hate speech deal. You people are the founders of hate speech. The 13 Sharia states of the north, you people are the granddaddies of hate speech. You want to do to us what you did to Hausa people. You think we don't have sense. You convinced Hausa because I don't know why you convinced them all. But you can't convince us. What is your nonsensical program? War against corruption, war against hate speech. Our country will divide. If you look at Rwanda, it's hate speech. It's all rubbish and bunkum. You tried that with Hausa and it worked for you. Not with us. It won't work. So if there is no work, they will go to war, there will be bloodshed. That's what they're saying in effect. You know, we black people, we have a very funny way of feeling sorry for ourselves. We don't like telling ourselves the truth. We are not self-critical. We don't appraise ourselves. We don't sit down and say that what we are doing is wrong. That is why anytime you tell them, that's the way we reason like animals. You see a lot of people getting upset, but I say something to myself. That is how you acquire higher state of reasoning, by being critical of your by being self-critical, self-analytical. That's how you get to where you're supposed to be. And people should stop feeling sorry for themselves, for goodness sake. That's why Africa is in a mess. Every time pity. Give us aid, give us handout. We are dying. We are drowning in the sea. So come and help us and fish us out of the sea. Now somebody rightly said a few days ago, if you bring a ship now to Uganda and say that you want volunteers who will be slaves in America, people will bring their own chains with them. Don't bother bringing any chains. We'll come with our own chains. That's how hopeless our land is, and we are IPOB, and we are doing the best we can to fix it.
Yes, all people in all regions in Nigeria being fair citizens of one country.
Well, it might, but I mean, new to our region, but how many Northerners are employed in this?
The white man is asking Ahmadu Bello, but all of you are Nigerians. He said, no, it doesn't matter. We are in the north. The journalist asked Ahmadu Bello, but all of you are Nigerians. He said, no, it doesn't matter. We are from the north. What matters to me is the north. Which has always been their policy from day one. And I'm asking myself, all those influences, your so-called governors, your so-called politicians in Abuja, the Alenonemas of this world, don't they have access to all these materials? Somebody should send it to them. Let me tell you what we're going to do, IPOB. I've asked all of you to go to Twitter. You don't go to Twitter, all of you. Go and open a Twitter account, all of you. Send this very clip of Ahmadu Bello to every senator. Send it to all of them and ask them, are these people proposing this hate speech bill, is this not their father? And the whole nonsense will die off. And then we are busy discussing rubbish. Tweet this very video to all the senators, and you see their shame come to light. Now we must proceed because the time now is approximately 13 minutes past 8 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. You can now see what a disastrous colonial experiment that the zoo became as a result of fusing together diverse cultures.
Of course, we all see we can all see the zoo called Nigeria. We can all see the origin of hate speech. And for the issue of Allen Onyema, FBI, we want to bring to your notice that Yusuf Buhari is the first richest youth in the whole world. FBI, Yusuf Buhari don't have any job. FBI of America, tell us how Yusuf Buhari become the fourth richest youth in the whole world, richer than George Bush's son, richer than Donald Trump's son, richer than Hillary Clinton's son, richer than FBI. You people are shameless. Honestly, we reserve our respect for America because we understand America is built by principle. But this will not hide any further. There are some criminals hiding all over America. We will expose all of you. If you bring out your leg in the issue of Biafra, we will expose and disgrace you. Allen Onyema has his case to answer, but he's lucky we are going to leave him where he belongs to. But FBI, you know how to play dirty game. I wonder what you people are doing, but you will lose your credibility very soon. We can assure you that, because the last time we checked, you are not googling to find out where Yusuf Buhari, the son of late president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, got all the money that made him to become the fourth richest man in the world, including America, Japan, China, Asia. All of you will know where you make your money. But there is a reason we are here. We want to control our time and space. We want to be the author of our destiny. We want to exercise our right to self-determination because it was first of all God-given. Before there was anything like United Nations, before there was anything like United America, United Europe, United Arab, United Africa, before there were any United China, United Japan, United India, before you ever know anything united, all men were born free, and I should say equal. People should be ashamed of themselves. When you spend fortune manufacturing nuclear weapon, and then behind the corner of the house where you live, there is one child there who cannot feed once in a day. When you claim that you are healing the world with your medical advancement, you are using World Health Organization to parabolate everywhere in Africa, but yet you vaccinate them with virus, like cancer. You poison them. You create problem at the end of the day, you playing God. How long do you think you will do this? Do not forget in your tiniest brain that kingdom rise and kingdom fall. There were times American bled under the leadership of Britain. You bled. It took the like of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, among others, to put their life on the line. And that is the life you enjoy today. People bled for it. People died for it. I wonder if the current people of America can even stand up and fight for America today, if they ever face the same problem. That is why lunatics, I say impeach them and try and impeach. But that is your business. But stop getting involved in Biafran issue, because you will not go free. Hey, FBI say 80 Igbo people, they call them fraud, 80 Igbo people, all because they want to shut us down so that the Fulani can be able to hijack the justice system of Nigeria, and which they succeeded in doing. Today, the same justice system is talking to you about hate speech that you know the origin. And now it is time for all them to victimize certain few Biafrans. FBI has come out again. Yes, Alan Onyema is corrupt and indicted. You will give us evidence. Let the world see how corrupt this man is. But please, FBI of America, Yusuf Buhari, once again, the son of the late president of Nigeria, being represented by an imposter called Jubri. He's the first richest youth in the whole world. Malaysia, Japan, China. But this is Nigeria, very poor thinking, hopeless country, I must tell you. But produce the richest pastors, animals, idiots. Produce the richest youth, whereas his father said that the Nigerian youth are lazy youth. His father, Yusuf, father said Nigerian youth are lazy youth, that they are idiot, but he's the idiot in his grave. Giving birth to a lazy youth like Yusuf Buhari, being the first richest man. FBI, come and tell us how lazy youth of Nigeria has become rich in the world. Idiots all everywhere, idiots. I'm looking for a good name to call everybody that associate with Nigeria, including Nigerian people. Idiot, all of you, mad people. Of course, our leaders spent 3 hours trying to analyze whether people are still reasoning there. We can't finish it because my time is up. But of course, we shall continue from the where I stop. We will not leave any stone unturned. Idiots everywhere. This is not what you did. You lynch us in the media. You lynch us in the street. You kill us. You emasculate us. You disenfranchise us. You frustrate us. You intimidate us. You oppress us. You disenfranchise us. What exactly have you not done? Criminals everywhere. And then you will boast and say, okay, let's see how do we go. It's not about you. You don't have what it takes to even free us, not to talk of what it takes to enslave us. But you can only help save other people. Because all we are talking about is for some countries to be able to steal oil, gold, diamond, silver, successfully in Biafra land, unaccounted for. That is the essence of the existence of one Nigeria. Idiots everywhere. But of course, the journey has just begun. You make us go invincible. You will spend more than you have stolen in our land to uncover us. We are approaching all of you, engaging all of you through the preamble of law. And you people must do the right thing once and for all. For Nigerian people, anybody that is in Nigeria, you are idiot. If you are not clinching to Yoruba and become intellectual of Africa, you are idiot. Nonsense people. Idiots everywhere. You are outside there following Fulani to rape your mother and kill your father. And then when they say, let's go and kill Yamani, you are following them as outside. You are idiot. Very useless idiot. Go and look at the history of your father and see how idiotic you have become. Yeah, Fulani, you are born to rule. You are idiot. Very useless idiot. Because the suffering waiting for all of you. You are not prepared for it. And then you are Biafra. So we are land the land, you are believing one Nigeria. You are the biggest idiot. Idiot everywhere. Of course, our lines will not be open this morning. And I will not apologize for the way I react or the way we behave. Because only idiots need to be addressed like idiots. Idiots everywhere. Nonsense people. I'll be signing off from here. We'll continue from where we stop. Don't forget, Biafra is a spirit.
Biafra is a spirit. Biafra is an ideology that no one can kill. God sent the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, to resurrect our nation, Biafra. Long live Biafra. Freedom, Biafra. God bless Biafra. From Sivachi. Biafra cannot die. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True Kadama is freedom. Biafra must stand. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True Kadama is freedom. I remember Biafra, I remember I remember God bless Biafra. I remember Biafra, I remember God bless Biafra. They took a use and want me on. I'm bad on my feet, no. The market is so badly to suffer. Oh no. It's less to live, it's hard to die. Children can use with me. Terrorists lamenting, the raping and the shooting, the massacre and the killing. Destroying our farmlands and give out what not yes. To all the people, enough is enough, we can take this no more. Biafra cannot die. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True Madiama in freedom. Biafra must stand. It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True Madiama in freedom. I remember Biafra, I remember. I remember God bless Biafra. I remember Biafra, I remember. I remember God bless Biafra. It is time for the chosen people to find a nation. It is time for the chosen people to rewrite their history. It is time for the people that have been enslaved to discover their liberty, their brothers and sisters. The time for God to build our nation have come. We have a nation, blessed nation. For a long time we have accepted domination. For a long time we have been strong. For a long time we have been ignored. It's time that God has chosen for us as God. We have a nation. God bless Biafra. And here we will cut our nation, the nation Biafra. This devil does not fight for his freedom. Somebody on peace of apartheid. Freedom. Let's struggle for our liberty, not with weapons of war, but with a common language and a conviction. The Catalonia speeches, Bomba Kalashnikov cannot do anything to the people that have received the same cause. The people that have tasted for freedom, people of Biafra together for victory. Only the struggle liberates.
Because of millions of Biafran men, women, and children massacred in Coldwater and are still being massacred. That is why we must continue to fight for them. But the message we are sending across is that you can kill the flesh, but not the spirit. The spirit of Biafra is alive.
It's a time for freedom, time for victory. True Madiama in freedom.